Welcome back. You're tuning in to another episode of Beasley's channel, talking about the Clippers and their trade moves. So we got rid of Norman Powell for John Collins. We've been talking about that for a while. Clippers fans have been wanting John Collins for about 5 years now. Just never happened. We've been wanting a power forward for the longest. Never got one. Well, we finally got one. And we are for sure need one, especially after the freaking buzzer beating, dagger to the heart type of freaking dunk that Aaron Gordon just left all the Clippers fans in the Intuit Dome. That was the toughest thing I ever had to watch. But now we got freaking John Collins. He's averaged about over like 2 offensive rebounds a game, so that's going to help the offensive glass extremely well. Help out Zubac a lot, because I noticed we just rely on Zubac to get every rebound. No one rebounds, so we're going to need another rebounder, and he's a perfect asset for that. Yes, we did lose Norman Powell. Yes, he did have his career season stats ever, but he is 32, and he is in need for a new freaking contract, at least seeking out over $100 million, or $100 million for like 5 years, $20 million for 5 years. That should be good. Or maybe just shy of that, 105, 107, 110 for 5 years. But he's looking for a $100 million contract, and he deserves it. No one even talked about Norman Powell 2 years ago, except for the Clipper fans that knew who he was, especially dropping 40-point game when we didn't have PG or Kawhi in a playoff game against the Suns. Yes, we still lost, but he stepped up when we needed him the most. So yes, that sucks we lost him, but we didn't just send him over to nowhere. We actually hooked him up in the end. So we don't just stab our stars in the back. Yes, we've done that with Blake Griffin. That kind of sucks. And Montrezl Harrell. But other stars see what organizations do to their franchise players, or just players in general. And players talk. Agents talk. So when players see that this organization actually takes care of their players, players would actually want to sign up for that team in free agency. So a lot of people miss or oversee that, but that's a big factor into the free agency signings. That's literally how we got Bradley Beal. Like, he had many options. We had James Harden contact him out of his own, because he's just a great guy, taking freaking salary cuts and everything for the help of the team, because he wants to win. He's a winner. He's a team player. He's the system. And honestly, I don't know what the Clippers would be till this day if we didn't have James Harden. We'd probably be fighting for the play-in or not even making the play-in. So James Harden is definitely a big help and a big win for the Clippers. But what I noticed with James Harden, he loves to hold the ball. He loves to dribble the ball. Well, he can't do that every night for 35 minutes because team catches on. Yes, he might drop 20 in the first half, but then the second half, he's going to get doubled every time he touches the ball. They're just going to force him to get rid of it. And then those players that haven't shot or all night or all half are ice cold, and now they're breaking open threes, open shots. So we do need another facilitator to come in, and not even come in as a backup, just to be on the court. So when James Harden's getting doubled, he could swing it to someone else other than Chris Dunn. Yes, I love Chris Dunn. His defense is amazing, but man, watching him dribble up the ball sometimes is a little iffy. But yeah, Bradley Beal will be a perfect asset and next to James Harden for a secondary ball handler. And then not just that, you're having the third best player guarding Bradley Beal. I think that's a bucket any time of day. Or if he's on fire, then you have to have the second best player guarding Bradley Beal, and then you got the third best player guarding Harden or Kawhi, which is another bucket waiting to happen. Not just that, we still have Zubac. I just really hope that we don't, with all these signings, we don't lose focus on what we were focused on last year, and was defense and feeding Zubac. Zubac took such a big leap last year. He got more touches, and he thrived with it. He should have been Defensive Player of the Year, but that's a whole nother story. There's a lot of players that deserve it, so I can't really argue about that. But yeah, and I noticed about him when he's doing crazy good, or if he gets in foul trouble, or if he's having an off game or something, we're done. We're lost. Like, we don't have any answer for it. So I'm glad we got Brook Lopez as a great backup. He's literally a starting center last year and the years before. So, like, we literally got a starting center to be a backup center. That is crazy work by Lawrence Frank. Man. So, basically, all the holes that we had last year, we filled it. Yes, we lost Norman Powell, but we filled 3 holes in the process. And not just that, we even got Chris Paul. Chris Paul at age 40, yes, it's pretty old. Yes, we might get ran off the court. Yes, he might get outran, but he still has the fundamentals. He still has the IQ, and he still has that passing. And when you get older and you start retiring and stuff, passing's the last thing to go. So, and that's literally what we signed him for, is for passing. He averaged over 7 assists last year. So, I mean, if he just does 5 or even 6 assists coming off the bench, or even 4 assists off like 9 minutes, man, that's perfect. That's literally all we need for him. And it's a great Cinderella story for him. He gets to end his career as a Clipper, where it didn't all begin, but where his stardom began. Or I actually could say his actual like stardom for his career began, and not just that, the Clippers stardom began. Because, man, the Clippers were a joke before he came, man. I swear. But anyways, that's enough for me. I got to get back to work. Oh, thank you for tuning in. And this is another episode of Beasley's channel, and have a good day.